Democratic Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is stumped by high gas prices in California, where gas taxes outstrip the other 49 states. There was a viral photo recently that showed two gas stations, and they were only miles apart from each other. One was in California, and the other, I think, was Arizona. Is that what it was? I'm bad with geography. I'm not. Okay, anyway, the point was, outside of California, gas was like $2, and right like a couple miles away in California was 4 something. Why that is? Could it be, Gavin, that you supported a gas tax? Check it out. The Daily Caller says, Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom threatened possible legal action against oil companies in a Tuesday tweet complaining about the high cost of gas in his state. He said, California drivers have paid an average of 30 cents more per gallon. There's no identifiable evidence to justify that. I'm demanding an investigation. If oil companies are engaging in false advertising or price fixing, legal action should be taken. When I heard this, I just couldn't believe it. Gavin, you quite literally supported the gas hike, right? You supported massive gas tax hike. So why is California on average paying 30 cents more? Maybe it's because your state has a higher rate. Okay, hold on. Maybe Gavin isn't talking about taxes. Maybe he's trying to imply that outside of taxes, they're paying 30 cents more. Oh, okay. Well, the Daily Caller does have an answer to those as well. Gasoline blends. Let's read what they have to say. While Newsom claimed that there was no identifiable evidence to justify the fact that California has paid 30 cents more per gallon, there were a few key indicators that the California governor appeared to be ignoring. California ranks first in combined state tax rates and fees, which amount to approximately 61 cents per gallon. Only 2 other states, Illinois and Pennsylvania, have combined tax rates over 50 cents per gallon. Another 8 states, Hawaii, Washington, Michigan, Indiana, Florida, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, have combined tax rates between 40 and 49 cents per gallon. The vast majority have tax rates of 39 cents or below. Gasoline blends. California's more stringent environmental regulations, have also played a part in raising the price residents pay at the pump, effectively turning the state's fuel market into an economic island. A 2015 article in the LA Times explained the phenomenon, saying that the Golden State's market is isolated from outside fuel suppliers that might moderate prices. In addition to the environmental regulations that affect all gasoline blends sold in California, the formulas change with the seasons, and the summer blend is even pricier than its winter counterpart. Additional environmental requirements established for refineries have caused a number of refineries to close their doors, leading to further decreases in competition. While California's most recent gas tax hike, which Newsom supported, went into effect this past July, many of the environmental regulations impacting price at the pump predate his time in the governor's mansion. You know what is a major factor in getting reelected and whether or not someone's going to support you? Gasoline prices. Because at the end of the day, you want to go to the store and buy milk, you can't do it if you don't got gas. You want to drive to work, well, you can't do it if you don't got gas. Gasoline, fuel for your vehicle, is one of the most important purchases someone can make in their life. Gas prices are a major factor in why Moody's Analytics is saying that Donald Trump is going to sweep 2020. Because the gas prices are down. That means more traveling, more vacation, more food, cheaper prices, lower inflation, because it all starts with petroleum. You want to get corn from the field? You want to grow the corn? You need a tractor. You need supplies. You want to get the corn to the supermarket? You need a truck to do it. You want to ship your wood across the country, bring iPhones in on a boat? You got to have cheap oil, okay? And under Trump, gas is cheap. Now in California, it's not. So I have to wonder if this is fake outrage that Gavin Newsom is pretending like we're being gouged so he can pass the buck and say it's them, it's their fault. Don't blame me. I didn't do anything wrong. Well, as it turns out, he's the one who supported the massive tax hike. So, I don't trust California at all. California cities like LA have Democratic supermajorities. Okay, so Los Angeles can't pass homeless reform bills, even though they're all Democrats. Now, why is that? They also pass these massive gas tax hikes, environmental regulations, driving prices. People are fleeing California. There's diseases, feces. The whole thing's a nightmare. And they keep doing the same things. Listen, man, we got a problem. There is a certain point where we got to say, hey, we don't have enough of a certain resource. I'm not saying we're there now. I'm saying we'll get to the point where, like, we don't have enough water. That's scary when that happens. The point is, at a certain point, you can't just start jacking up prices with taxes because people won't be able to afford it. They'll get angry, they'll blame you, and they'll leave. Let's read the story from Reason, just from the other day. The governor's request for an investigation comes after the release of a report finding the state's taxes and regulations explain half of the higher prices Golden State motorists pay. It could also be because of the taxes, refineries and other companies don't want to come there because they can operate safely and securely in less regulated places. Now, I'm for regulation, right? But you got to have that happy medium. And California, you're facing the brunt of going too far. They say Gavin Newsom is at it again, requesting on Monday that California Attorney General Xavier Becerra investigate possible price fixing by California's major oil and gas companies. The request comes after the release of a new report from the California Energy Commission, which found one partial reason for the Golden State's highest in the nation gas prices to be the higher prices charged by brand retailers like Shell, Chevron, and 76. Newsom had requested this report back in April to figure out why Californian motorists were paying a mystery surcharge, a term that refers to the price difference between state and national gas prices that can't be readily explained by California's higher taxes or unique energy regulations. So that's what I was trying to say before we got into the Daily Wire stuff. Daily Caller stuff. It may just be he's not talking about taxes. He's talking about why there's a bigger charge. So I'll give you a simple explanation before we read on. Well, like I said, these companies might not want to be there because of regulations. So you can say the regulations don't cost this, but it could also reduce competition. And it could also then mean that companies have to pay a premium to attract workers to work in the state. Well, let's read. They say Newsom had requested this report back in April to figure out why Californian motorists were paying a mystery surcharge. Oh, we read that already, sorry. There is no identifiable evidence to justify these premium prices, wrote Newsom in his letter to Becerra, according to the LA Times. The mystery surcharge adds up, especially for cost-conscious working families. If oil companies are engaging in false advertising and price fixing, then legal action should be taken to protect the public. That Newsom would use the release of this report to criticize gas companies for their high prices is somewhat puzzling. After all, the CEC investigation makes clear just how much the state's high taxes and regulations are contributing to higher gas prices. The commission's investigation found that the per-gallon gas prices were roughly 75 cents higher in California last year than in the rest of the country. Of this difference, some 40 cents was attributed to the state's higher taxes, and then a bunch of parentheses, cap and trade regulations, and its low carbon fuel standard. Newsom famously supported the state's 2017 gas tax increase and argued against a 2018 ballot measure that would have repealed it. Of the remaining price difference, some 10 cents was the result of higher crude prices in California. Retailer and refiner margins accounted for another 23 cents of the difference. You want to talk about mystery surcharge? Dude, it's simple. If California has a regulation on a certain aspect of the industry that's not directly related to the purchase of fuel, they got to pay for it. So yeah, like it's that simple. Contra Newsom's claim that there was no justification for these higher prices, the CEC listed a number of reasons why branded retailers might be commanding a premium at the pump. There are a number of possible reasons why consumers continued to buy higher priced gasoline, including station location, the acceptance of credit cards, and brand loyalty. There may also be perceived differences in gasoline quality based on retailers' claims regarding gasoline specifications or additive packages. These are all legitimate reasons why consumers are continuing to purchase these higher priced brands. It's also possible, man, regional, okay? California has specific terrain. It's mountainous in some areas, it's hilly. You got California where you got to drive into the valley. That could all play a factor. It's really quite simple. You got a flat desert over here in the Mojave. Yeah, well, it's a straight line and easier to bring these supplies in. Does the drought play a factor? Does weather play a factor? Does the fact that there is a massive demand play a factor? Whatever retailers' reason for charging higher than average gas prices, Newsom's request for a price-fixing investigation seems like a clear attempt to deflect blame from the state's own price-increasing policies. And there it is. If it's his fault, he's not going to get reelected. But I'll tell you what, man. I'm not trying to make this a dig about Democrats, okay? There are Republican-led states that are in much worse condition in some areas, okay? Homelessness, lack of education, I get it. But California is supposed to be this glorious golden child, right? Where they've got all the different terrain for a vacation and all the celebrities want to live there. You got LA and San Francisco. You've got the booming tech industry and the massive billions of trillions of dollars they command, right? Yet for some reason, the state is riddled with disease, homelessness, extremely high gas prices. I mean, beyond the natural disasters, you've got human waste everywhere. So you want to talk about gas price problems? I hear you, man. But I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and blame you. Based on everything else we've seen from California, am I gonna sit here and be like, maybe it's the oil companies that operate the same way in every other state? Nah, man. I think it's you. And I think it's your administration. I think it's your policies. And it's the fact there's no political market competition. You know, here's what happens with a super party, like a super majority. They just keep going in the same direction. They don't got to change. And there you go. So you know what? I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Podcast at 6:30 p.m. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all next time.